Hi, Kutha here, and I'm going to be doing another movie review, but this one is actually it's a short film review that I saw a little while ago that was really cool little thing. Um, a friend of mine, also a subscriber, Tigger Omega, one of the people that I credit as an inspiration to me. He one night, me and him, we were talking over Skype, and somehow we got on the subject of The Wizard of Oz. And we were talking about it, and I've always had like a little bit of a soft spot for like the classics, and and The Wizard of Oz is a classic fairy tale, about the triumph of good over evil, and a bunch of good things like that. Um, so we talked about it, we reminisced, and it was just an enjoyable conversation overall. But then, I of course had to go to bed, and he was having to run off to go to classes. Apparently later, he when he got a chance, he got online, started looking up some stuff on the Wizard of Oz, and ran across this little short film called Heartless: The Story of the Tin Man. And then he sent me the link for it, and I watched it, and I was really impressed with what I saw there. Now, I know a lot of you have probably seen, The Wizard of Oz, the old MGM classic. Um, and, like I said, it's a good film. It's one that, you should have around just because, it's just a classic to have around. I mean, everybody should see The Wizard of Oz at some point or another, you know? But the short story that is done here, Heartless, the story of the Tinman, is actually, it was in the book for The Wizard of Oz, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by L. Frank Baum. Where he provided actually some backstory on some of the characters, and the Tin Man was one of them. And this is based off of that backstory information that Baum put into The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And it's pretty decently true to it. There is some liberties taken with it a little bit, because, like I said, it wasn't I mean, it was, it provided backstory, which Baum felt he needed for the Tin Man to explain how he became the Tin Man. But this kind of elaborates on it. Um, and overall, the effort that they did for it was pretty good. The cinematography, and a lot of the storytelling points are done pretty well. There is a couple little problems with the acting. A lot of people that are in this, I mean, I've never heard of them, and they, so I mean, they're probably like new novice actors. I mean, Heartless, the story of the Tin Man, is done by this production company called Whitestone Motion Pictures, and they've mostly done short stories, short movies, things like that. But Tin Man, actually stands out from some of their other stuff that they've done. Um, and from what I understand and from what I've seen of some of their other stuff, a lot of their stuff ain't bad. But Tin Man is the one that stands out. I mean, even though like the thing that hurts this the most is just a lot of people's acting capability is like I mean they're just inexperienced, but they do the best with what they got. And they do have actually the narrator who would he this man by the name of Charles Black, I believe it is. Yeah. Um, he actually does as the narrator because as a narrator, I mean, it's just the voice. That's it. That's all you got. They found, like I said, Charles Black is the guy who does the narrating for this, and he does a really good job. I'd say he's up close to the category of other voice actors like like Simon Templeman and Michael Bell, who are best known for their work in the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver games. Because when it comes to voice act, I mean, you have to bring more to the table than what an actor does. Because an actor, like I said, they've got movements and, they need to hit their marks and, you know, things like that. I mean, it's challenging, yeah, but as a voice actor, you don't have those things. So everything has to come from your voice. And Charles Black does an actual pretty good job as the narrator, um, telling the story without making it seem boring or anything. Because I've seen voiceover narration done for other stuff to where it's just I quit watching it because the narrator or the voice acting for it was just so bland, was so dull. And in this, it has that right feel for what is needed for the voice acting, you know. And when combined with the overall story, um, where they really, really stressed at the whole love story interest and then the opposition that comes along to it. I don't really want to say a lot because I don't want to spoil it for nobody that's seen this, and I do think that if you get a chance, you should see this because it is actually worthwhile, and it adds a whole new facet to The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Because, like I said, a lot of people, they may not have sat down and taken the time to read the book. Um, but it's just nice to see that part of the book finally wasn't ignored. It was actually, hey, this is good material. We'd like to actually do like a little movie about this. And, they made it, and they did a pretty good job. Especially when the Tin Man fully comes to life. Another guy that does a really good job in here is a guy who plays the Tinner, Mark Ashworth, who is like he comes to him because I mean there are certain elements that come in where the Woodsman eventually becomes the Tin Woodsman, and the Tinner is the guy that helps him become the Tin Woodsman. And the guy that plays the Tinner, like I said, Mark Ashworth, does a really, really good job. Even though his role is very small, I mean, he's like maybe in like 2 minutes of the film total. But it's definitely, like I said, for this, um, I mean, especially speaking that this is a short film, I mean, they essentially, there's a lot of things that they have to cram in to make sure that they have people's attention. Um, and that's one of the things that actually surprised me the most about this because they succeeded. They did a pretty good job with a short amount of time and the basically very limited source material they had to work with. I mean, if I remember correctly, the backstory for the Tin Men was, I mean, it was there, but it wasn't like a big, huge part of the book. I mean, it was backstory. It was just put in to explain a little bit about this character, and then it moved on. So what Whitestone Motion Pictures did when they made this, they did a pretty decent job for it. It's not the best thing out there, but it's definitely very interesting, and it's definitely a really, really, I really liked what they did do with it. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I definitely say that this is something that you should at least take a look at, watch it, you know. I'm going to put a link down in the bar so that way you can go to their site and watch it. It's completely free. You don't have to pay nothing. And it's, like I said, I think it's definitely worth the 22 minutes to watch it. Like I said, there's some pretty good cinematography. Acting could be a little bit better, but hey, like I said, it's a 22-minute short film. And so if we're not asking for Academy Awards here. We are asking to have our attention held for that 22 minutes. And Heartless, the story of the Tin Man, succeeds. And it succeeds very nicely. So, like I said, if you want, give it a chance. Go watch it. And I hope you really enjoyed it, because I did. And so that's my review on this one. And I will see you all later. Thanks for taking time to watch.